A minute of snorkel footage, the best part of the episode. So back to the boat, and Ryan is punching holes out of wheat bread for the high tea. This is when Jason walks in and says, "Hey, what have you got?" And Ryan holds up a cheese sandwich, the kind his father used to make him after he burned his arm with a cigarette. And I mean, I'm exhausted. I am exhausted. Welcome aboard another brand spanking new episode of Another Below Deck Down Under Podcast, the Patreon exclusive, whatever we call this show. It's Below Deck Down Under. I'm Dylan, saddled up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
Ahoy, mateys.
Pat, producer of the podcast, is over there behind my glasses.
Permission to come aboard.
Permission granted. So, what?
Pat, question.
Yeah.
Why did you clean stuff up with that? Why is that on your knee, my polo?
Because I feel like it'd be distracting to the audience that I fell down on a sidewalk today and now I have Band-Aids on my knee and I don't want anybody talking shit
It is
about
kind
me.
of unsightly.
But you did just get blood on my uniform, and
I will
won't
wash
get
it.
in trouble with the captain for not being... No, I want to wear it.
Well, you should have put it on. We're doing the show now.
Your knee... I think it's cool that you have badass injuries. Give me the shirt. You guys won't wear yours. I'm not going to let you not wear mine.
No.
Not wear mine. Yeah, that's right. And also, I've been talking to the actual company that support.
I'm not going to let you not wear mine. That doesn't make... That's not what you meant.
Yes, it is.
No.
I'm not going to let you not. Oh, yeah.
These damn third shows.
All right. So I'm glad that this is our third show because we've been drinking Morgan Beaujolais, which is delicious, juicy French wine. And we've done that because this episode drove me to drink. And, you know, when we record, I'll have a Miller. If I'm really thirsty, I'll dip into, that fucking shit you guys drink just to kind of wet the tongue a little bit. But tonight's episode made me want to kill myself. It was so bad. And I don't mean to make light of mental health. What?
I just want to say...
we disagree.
Yeah, I think we both significantly agree. And I just want to say this is going to be another one of those negative shows where we universally hate the episode.
No, how could it be?
Dylan is on an island,
yeah,
and he's struggling and thinks he's autistic. He's not. Everybody tell Dylan he's not autistic, and even quit joking about it. It's disgusting that you think
I'm not
you're
joking about it. I'm going to go see a psychiatrist soon, and we'll figure it out. At the very least, I'll get some good meds that'll make me skinny. So, this episode is...
You're jumping in your thoughts and knots.
Yes, something that
I
I want to subject.
They're already paying. What do you got?
We got a live show coming up. We need to move some tickets.
These are most dedicated. That's a good point.
The hill, the boulders down the hill.
Forgive me.
Asshole. Let me go.
The hills are alive with the sound
God
of music.
Damn it. The reason why I wanted to do this last is because I feel this episode deserves it. I feel this episode, and I'm conflicted because I don't want the audience to suffer through the third show, or the sixth show of the week, really. But I feel as though what Bravo subjected me to, maybe I'm on an island, with this episode was borderline criminal. I don't ever say this. I love what we do. This is a job for us at this point. Thank God, because of the support we have from our fans. But today I can honestly say was the first day I have felt like I have hated my job.
Jesus Christ.
It took me 3 hours to watch this show because I had to, I'm going to see the psychiatrist about this.
Sure.
But it took me 3 hours to watch the show because I had to step away from what I'm rendering 0 pots. I mean,
0.
The worst casting in the history of this show. The worst people. Nothing interesting. Only bad. Only yucky. Magda's chyrons. Jamie's lack of fucking backbone. Ryan's Craig Toomy of the Langoliers insane smiling. I mean, just nothing good about this episode. 0 pots. I'm drinking. We're going to have a great time. Because as much as I hated doing this part of my job, I love this part of my job. Getting in here with you guys and chewing a little fat about it.
Dylan, you deserve this. Nick and I have both had derelictions of duty in the past multiple times.
Well,
probably too many to count.
2,000 words.
I've
on
never
it, but I'm
not watched an entire episode and had to have it explained to me, but I just want to.
Now, see,
Okay.
let's pause.
I'm not angry at all.
Let's pause.
I don't do preference sheets. It was a hilarious joke by me.
No, not
sometimes
hilarious.
We blur lines.
Had an energy signature that was very nasty
you.
and
That's
also
you.
unwarranted.
No, I took it that way too.
Yeah,
Nick.
no, because it's not just me. How could it only be just
No,
me when it
hold
was
on.
so
But
objectively nasty?
This isn't about me and how nasty Nick
right,
just was.
right.
Can I use an example of why sometimes you take it harsher?
It'll
than
be
it is?
fruitless, but go ahead.
Had the idea a couple of weeks ago that we should offer ad-free episodes
Yes.
of Below Deck Down Under
Yes.
at our $10 tier,
Great
which
idea.
we do for you $5 people.
Nice.
We all kind of talked about it.
Lovely PSA.
We all kind of talked about it. We agreed
People
on
already
it. This
paying.
was Monday. On Saturday, after we mentioned it on air at the end of the episode, I
Yeah.
had talked about it before episode, and then
Yeah.
talked about it at the end of the episode. Then a couple of people in their social medias were like, "That's a great idea. We'd love
Yeah,
that. We'd
yeah,
love that."
right.
Then we get this text from Pat, which I honestly just thought it was funny. There was just no acknowledgement that we had talked about it.
Right,
He goes,
right.
He goes, "What do you guys think about offering ad-free episodes at the $10 tier?" And I replied, "I thought hilariously, I love that idea I came up with."
right. Right.
Well, I meant incorporating it soon.
Right.
Fair enough.
There's
Say it.
There's one thing about what would stop us other than you having to take on the onus of more work
Him.
or you.
Dylan.
So me putting it out there was, yeah, let's do this. What do you
Yeah.
guys think?
Cool. I didn't even.
Are we
I-
fighting right now?
Well, but hang on.
Let me finish.
No.
I'm bringing it home. I really did think that's how you meant it. I didn't think
then
you.
why bring it up now?
Because of the correlation to. So then I said my hilarious thing, and Dylan responded, "What a toxic response!"
Right.
And then none of us talked to each other for 2 days.
Well,
Not
all
because
right.
we were mad at each other, just because we don't text them.
there
much.
was nothing to say.
And then
No-
they saw. But then they saw.
Can you give him a timeout?
I'm finishing it.
Well, it's on my show.
I would be finished if I was not interrupted. Then I saw Pat on Monday. I go, "Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I was just kidding." And he goes, "I didn't take it like that at all. Dylan did."
Well, that was Pat kind of assuaging a little bit, and
Did
he
you
was
think I
he
was-
was being dishonest. Now, here, I want to be done with this, but I think this episode deserves us fighting a little bit over this, and we're not fighting.
That's what happens when you hate your work.
right. So
I love this episode
So,
and you guys.
There, and we love all of each other. We love you very much, but let's examine the word that you used maybe 3 or 4 times throughout the defense of your toxicity. Hilarious, right? You've used the word hilarious over and over.
Yeah.
right.
Super
So-
funny.
So were it to be super funny or truly hilarious, would you need to kind of backpedal on so much of this? And really it's not.
Here's a great analogy.
But I'm not finished.
Brittini calling Jamie
Okay,
a bitch.
I guess I am finished.
Hilarious. He doesn't think it is. Sorry.
Hey, this is what happens when a
No,
season goes
hang
on too long.
on. Let's do this. So Pat says, "Hey, let's do $10 ads," and then Nick, in a hilarious manner,
I love that idea I
Writes-
came up with.
writes the words, "I love that idea that I came up with." I mean, how can you read that as anything other than hilarious?
I love that idea I came up with, LOL, which shows I'm in a jovial mood.
Right.
You know, our
This is why I don't like texting. Listen on APS. I just don't like texting.
Great
Things
cross
don't
promotion.
come across well.
and let me tell you something. You know, our Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, that got a lot of engagement. Mm-hmm. I think this episode on Patreon is going to get a lot of engagement too. So well done to all of us.
All right, you guys have to deliver pots and knots.
Oh, right. Well, you did yours. All right, hold on. Let's get to some PSAs. All right, we've been fighting for how long? Have we been going, Dylan? We haven't even talked about
9
the show.
minutes.
Great.
I
Great.
can't see it.
Okay.
Do you have your weed pen?
Probably sitting at it. I don't know how it gets under my butt crack every time.
So we're doing a live show with KKC. We want a bunch of you guys to come out and support us. We're going to probably
Absolutely.
get up on stage, do 20 or 30 minutes of panel. We'll hang out with you. you know what? If I'm feeling good that night, I might even buy all you guys drinks. Come out, buy tickets to the show. It's July 13th. It's at the Irvine Improv. Go to improv.com. Kate Casey, Real Life with Kate Casey.
Improv.com. Hit the drop down. Select Irvine. Get the Kate Casey show July 13th.
And we'll hang out with you and we'll make you laugh.
Yeah,
too.
there are a couple different packages. I honestly don't think you need to get a VIP package to hang out with us. If you guys are there for us, we will make sure that we say
hang out at the
hi
bar
to
and,
each and every one of you. So yeah, we cannot. We're very, very excited about this. Ad money's coming in. We're getting on stage in front of people. It is a dream come true. But with that being said, I fucking hate my job after watching
right now,
an
just
episode
this
like
episode.
this.
I felt that way about last 5 seasons of Bachelor.
Right.
All right. I want to get into my thoughts and thoughts. Do you mind, Nikki?
Not at all.
Okay, Dylan, I disagree with you about this episode.
He took a huff because you wanted to say something.
I just want. I'm so chill. I'm
No,
not upset at all.
we're all
Cool,
chill. I mean,
cool.
we're in a
This
really
is what
good
happens.
spot that we can fight with each other and laugh about it. It can be comedic.
We're fighting better now. You
Yeah.
know, Wendy Walsh, one of my favorite podcasts.
Future guest on APS.
You know, fighting like we do is actually good for the relationship.
That's what I told you when I heard that you and Cherie hadn't fought in 3 years. I was very concerning. You need to burp
because
your
I
fault
wasn't
lines.
considering it fighting because we have disagreements, but it doesn't get ugly.
Well, now
We
Dylan,
fight
their
good.
relationship's better than ever.
Yes, it is better than ever.
You know, when we fight, we're fighting for the relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
All right, let me get into my thoughts now.
yeah.
All right, Dylan, completely disagree with you. This episode, while it was the first half, was a little boring, and I'm going to make a comparison. And it's at the outset, it's not similar, but it is. Just follow my train of thought. The movie Jaws. There's a fucking shark swimming around the ocean.
Yeah,
It's eating half the town's kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You hate Jaws.
You gotta do it after you.
You hate Jaws. You like to hate Jaws. Okay? He's swimming around. He's killing a bunch of people. And then finally, the last 20 minutes of the movie, 3 guys go out on a boat. One of them throws a fucking scuba diving tank in the shark's mouth. And then he fucking fires a gun and it explodes and you got fucking shark flesh floating up in the air and falling down. That was what Captain Hot Jason did tonight. We've been waiting for people to get their comeuppance. Magda on her fucking phone day and night with that bitch Paulina trying to interlope on her fucking relationship with whatever his name is.
Right, but I don't think Paulina did anything. I think that Magda is quite literally an insane person, possibly schizophrenic.
You're making my point.
Right.
I wanted that scuba tank in her fucking mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Hot Captain Jason did that tonight.
And Magda's mouth does kind of look like a fossil of
she
an
is
old
not an
sea
attractive
dinosaur.
person.
Yeah, no.
She looks like Dushka.
Yeah.
Then, the tail end of the episode, very much like Jaws, it's the last 5 minutes when that fucking flesh is in the fucking New England South Bay air, falling down. Pieces of the fucking, I think I saw a tooth fall down, right?
Right.
We go down those steps to tail end of this episode. And pizza scumbag, whatever his name is, he's
Pizza
about
Rat.
to be fired.
Yeah.
Payoff is there. 90 knots. 90 knots.
I mean, she still has not said thank you. I mean, it's unbelievable. And I sent the text, did you get it? She still hasn't said anything. I mean, I
hope Shirley's not a Patreon member. You know what I mean? We don't want Shirley to know.
I hope she does. I hope she listens.
Literally the antithesis of your entire ethos of the intro to APS. What a bunch of consonants I had there.
Thoughts, Pots?
Loved it. Thought it was...
Did you think it was Jaws at all?
Oh, so Jaws. We finally saw the monster. That's why those movies used to keep you on the hook, no pun intended. And I also wanted to say there were a million ideas that I had. I was like, oh, I want to mention that.
Million?
Huh? Yeah. And I forgot them. That's how bad I'm neurodivergent too.
Yeah.
I have ADD. I thought and forgot a lot of stuff. So one thing I thought of and I remembered is that you talked about, both of you, how non-attracted to Magda we are.
It wasn't. I mean, she's pretty,
You don't have
but
to couch it. I mean,
no, it's.
I'm on the same page.
You need to look like a demigod if you're going to accuse everybody of hating you for how beautiful you are. Even then, it's kind of gross.
In the beginning of the season, I called her hot Amelia Bedelia. in the middle of the season, I called her Amelia Bedelia. She is now a less attractive Amelia Bedelia.
She looks like Sid from Ice Age.
She
looks like a horse.
Sid from Ice Age is such a easy burn to anybody ugly.
Right.
But yeah, she does.
Yeah.
And
Hey, what's going on, guys?
we'll get into it. Loved everything about this
cold
episode.
out here, huh, guys?
From start to finish. Oh, and I would also like to put my early vote in for episode title, Jamie's a Bitch.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Like, hey, how many minutes are we in before getting to the show?
17.
15?
World record.
I mean, it's really unbelievable. Right. So this episode was taxing, like I said. Not to mention, this episode was 55 minutes long. Usually it comes in at about 43, 44. 55 minutes long. So, last we left off, we had a serious to be continued, and the Peacock audience was left aghast, searching for answers, scratching the walls, saying things like, I can't wait a week to find out what happens to Benny. But sure enough, we do find out that the decision that Hot Captain made was to make Benny think that he was firing him, and then like a fucked up, sex-addicted cat with a little mouse who killed his parents, reel him back in with a hilarious just kidding kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That's what Hot Captain Jason was toiling over. How do I pretend like I'm going to fire this kid and just completely fucking punk him? So he calls Jamie up to the crow's nest, and we see a concerning couple of chyrons. Magda is texting with her fellow head of cabbage. And it's at this moment I thought, uh-oh. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. You know, you guys are going to have to jump in with the positivity because it's not coming from me.
Keep going.
It's not coming from me.
I told you the first half, I thought it was not good.
So, bravo. Keep this shit away from us. I want to talk to one of the producers. This is the first time I've really felt like we could make hay with an interview with one of the producers on this show, because there are so many horrific things about the season. I just want to ask why.
I love the Paulina Magda shit so much that I tried to search through Magda's Instagram to find Paulina to get her on this program.
Oh,
nice.
Amazing
They have since unfollowed each other. That was as far as my digging did.
That's all you
So
need
Paulina
to do.
was sleeping with Mazik.
I think so. And it was not amazing work. It was surface level work that was started by a good idea.
I don't want to. I don't mean to be all Shutter Island about this, but not only do
a movie that goes nowhere.
It goes to a beautiful place. Not only do I think that Paulina did not cheat on, or her boyfriend did not cheat on her with Paulina, I don't think Paulina exists. I think Paulina is a figment of Magda's imagination. I think Magda is clinically insane.
Oh, that is Shutter Island. You just gave away the whole plot. Spoiler alert.
He mentioned that in the beginning of the episode in his thoughts and knots, and it was one thing I grabbed onto, but then I got so enraged that you didn't like the episode. But this is Fight Club. Magda is both of these people. Yep. It's incredible. But then there's so many storylines. It's like this amalgamation of some of the greatest stories ever told, because she's also the ghost of... She was met by the ghost of Christmas.
Ghost
Futures.
in the Darkness?
No, fucking
She's
Dushka.
a lion?
Dushka's future her and shit.
Oh,
There's a lot going on with Magda.
Okay, so another Benny and Jamie convo. This one does not go well for Jamie. Captain Jason says that Benny is going to stay, and that makes Jamie feel as though he isn't being heard by Daddy. After this whole thing kind of pitters out, Benny says, I can't get fired. You can't? Because why did you threaten to quit so many times if you needed this job? It's this fake bullshit sudden realization of how meaningful this is to him. And for 11 or 12 episodes, he's been like, you don't like it? Fire me. You're not going to disrespect me like that. I killed my parents. I'll kill you too. I do not like... It's not that the storylines aren't there. There's plenty of action happening. I hate everyone on this boat except for Aisha and Hot Captain Jason.
Okay,
I don't hate Bertini and I don't hate Culver, but they're nowhere near enough to save a season.
They both have their flaws. Bertini makes me sad. Love her. She's a blast on a night out.
She makes me so sad.
Culver, I mean, he just pisses me off because the guy could do no wrong. Did we see him shirtless at one point in the episode?
Oh, yeah. See those abs?
Oh, yeah. But so I can agree with you. I don't like most of the people aboard this boat. But I will say that Benny's realization, like, it's a failure to keep that same energy. Like, I believe he had no fear when he's, like, in Jamie's face. He's like, fuck you. I'll fire me, whatever. But the second someone walks into your boss's office, you're all of a sudden like, oh my God, my parents are both gone and I have no money.
Yeah. No, he's a dumb coward and I don't like him. So, moving on. Magda is speaking of her boyfriend, Maciek, and how her friend Paulina was hanging out with him. She says that when they're together, they're like Bonnie and Clyde, which is not a great ceiling of a relationship to paint. But fine. Question about this entire thing. Who gives a fuck?
Actually, I was triggered because I've been friends with some people that are in toxic relationships, and I can just imagine myself being friends with Magda and her like always fighting. She's never living in the moment. You know, we've had these friends, right? Maybe I've been this guy to another person. They're like so in that toxic relationship that they can't enjoy themselves in the presence.
We've spoken about this many times.
Or
before.
do their job.
These people are annoying. You get very tired of them very, very fast, and you stop hanging out with them because you realize that this is a major character flaw.
But we're watching it.
And also, Pat, you keep adding ends.
So let's get to more Jason walking around being this weird HR Grim Reaper. He was once again vaguely threatening to Ryan and tells him that he should put some edible flowers on the plate or something. Now, Ryan's response is, I'm a clean plate kind of guy, which is absolute nonsense. And then we get into a sad exhibit of Ryan's mental illness. First, though, Ryan's claim that he's a clean plate kind of guy. You're not a clean plate kind of guy. You're a bucket of shellfish kind of guy. So fuck off first.
I'm a 34-year member of the Clean Plate Club.
Yeah.
It's a different thing than what Ryan was talking about.
No, it is. But let's get to his outlook on life, which is one of the most broken I've seen in a human being, period, not just exclusive to this wonderful television show. He says that he tried to do what the big man said last charter, and it didn't work out for him. Now, he says this with the same smile that the creepy guy in the Langoliers smiled with. He should go through electroshock therapy, and if that doesn't take, let's just wait for him to go out and commit a crime, I guess, or we can try to be preventative about this. I mean, to warp the reality from not getting a good tip into you were right, Jason was wrong. It's a sickness that is truly horrifying.
Now, I want you guys to know, because Dylan gave me the marching orders. Thank God this thing's behind a paywall. We might have a shot of getting Pizza Rat on this podcast.
What do you mean we might have a shot?
Well, Bravo has a different PR person for this Down Under than it does with the person we've been dealing with for the other fucking show. But thank God Pizza Rat, probably he's such a narcissist, he wouldn't take the time to listen. I do believe we can get some time for Dylan and him to square up.
We're of course going to get that. We have to speak to him before this season is
over. Could I plan some type of food trivia for you two?
Might be
culinary
nice.
Trivia.
Yeah.
I fear the interview will only last 4 minutes.
Are you doing a Christopher Walken?
No.
I don't know. Ryan is Ryan is delusional. He's defiant on social media. Like,
oh, really?
I think he'd be willing in what's the guy who runs Turning Point? Charlie Kirk fashion.
Yeah.
Go toe to toe with Dylan for as long as Dylan sees fit.
Yeah. I think it'll be fun. I'm really excited to talk to him, and I will not tell him that he should kill himself. I won't say anything like that, okay? That's just crazy.
By the way, if you guys don't know, one time Dylan debated Charlie Kirk on air. Hilarious.
So let's get to the night out. Magda texts her boyfriend, and I'm going to... Oh, no. What does she say? She says, I'm going out. I look so hot.
Yeah.
Another candidate for electroshock therapy. Just stop showing us her texts, please. Jamie decides he's just going to get plastered because he's hated by every single person on this boat, and Daddy doesn't listen to him. So the girls hatch a plan to call Jamie a bitch, and obviously he flips out. I'm not sure what's going on with him, but third person, get a bit in his mouth and just electrocute him. This is 1,000% one of the worst characters, or the cast of characters they've ever assembled. I mean, all of these people. Can we
No,
who wants to watch these people? They suck.
There are ingredients like Toomy and Brittini are ready to mix,
do it.
Yeah, they're ready to mix it up.
Great casting.
But there are these fucking wet blankets in Jamie and Ryan that ruin nights out, and they cut everything
Well,
short.
Jamie's trying to bang Magda, to be fair.
Oh yeah.
True. Even post show they've talked or whatever. I keep seeing fucking articles from TVAce.com, which is the worst clickbait. Please, our listeners, do not post TVAce.com below deck articles in our Facebook group. It's bullshit.
Is Jamie
Rant
gay?
over.
I don't know.
Because
He hates women.
He hates women. He has a lot of anger, misplaced anger, and he looks like a. I feel like he might.
I just
be
think
gay.
that fucking Chinese boy fucked him up.
Yeah, you know what? And by the way,
There's
everyone should
something
live their
off
own best
about
life.
him.
No, he does hate women. You know what? You're touching on something. Hey, we got to put this out there. It doesn't matter. You know, he should live his best life. But yeah, because he hasn't said it, I actually think he's gay because he fucking hates women.
Yeah. So let's get to his tirade.
And Pat just put his sarcasm kind of on the wrong line. It truly doesn't matter.
No, it
that
doesn't
he's gay.
matter.
No.
I know it doesn't matter.
So he goes on a tirade. He threatens to fire Brittini like he has any power to do that, and then tells Toomey that he's sick and tired of those stupid bitches, and is not yet so blacked out that he can't smell what's going on. But now the reason why he can see so clearly what just happened is because Magda is so fucking stupid. So she was handed a directive, and she, being Sid from Ice Age, just got out of the van and screamed it without any context whatsoever. I think the girls were hoping for a more subtle rollout of Jamie, you're a bitch, but she just jumped out of the car and screamed it at him. So dumbass Jamie, who hates himself because he's a gay man, said, oh, that's weird. I bet they told her to do that.
I hate people who don't understand a reveal. Very what will seem initially convoluted but relevant story. When I was visiting my close friends and confidant, Chef Marcos, Daisy,
Colin
down at Maru in downtown LA, we were sitting at the bar. I actually told the story on the other episode, but I'm going to tell it again very quickly. My girlfriend was wearing a coat that she spent a lot of money on. She loves this coat so much. One time we were walking down the street in Silver Lake, and this large, really cool-looking guy, won't say his race, said, that's a dope fucking coat. And it was the greatest compliment she's ever received. So we're at Maru, LA, downtown, hamming it up with my close friends and confidants, Chef Marcos, Daisy, and Colin. And there's a really cool looking gentleman sitting next to me, and I whisper in his ear and I say, I'll buy your next drink if you tell my girlfriend she has a cool coat on. This motherfucker waits 15 minutes. We kind of introduce. He's like, by the way, that's a fucking fly coat.
Right.
And for the second time, she got the greatest compliment she's ever had in her life. He got drinks and we're buddies.
That is a good reveal.
Yeah.
That is a good reveal.
I hate people who do bad fucking reveals like Magda.
Imagine if he turned around and just said that to Jules. You would have been put in a position where you were like,
I didn't pay that guy.
on a technicality, I'll get you the drink, but I mean, I should throw this in your face because you fucked that up.
Because Jules was like in a conversation with my close friend and confidant Daisy, but she still noticed I was talking to this gentleman. So when we stopped, she was like, what were you talking to this gentleman about? I was like, whatever. But if he would have immediately said it, she would have known because he fucked up the reveal, unlike Magda.
Much like Magda. So this causes Jamie to go on a little,
bitch fit?
Well, a little bitch fit, yeah. I mean, but he also goes on and on about the lives lost and the lives saved and how the word bitch is degrading.
He didn't save that kid in that pool.
Yeah.
The word bitch means a lot to him.
Hey, Navy SEAL, take a chill pill, okay? My God. Aisha takes the blame for it and lays out a pretty ineffective hypothetical for this kind of scenario. She says, if someone tells you to not touch a burning stove, all you want to do is touch it. And maybe something less obviously and directly harmful would have driven the point home a little bit. But we get it.
That's a very common saying. It's usually plate, too. Waiter says, hey, hot plate. I don't believe you.
I think it's associated with
that superhero I talked about that was on Oprah.
No, with being young. Like it's usually associated with testing things out, not a lack of willpower. Because you obviously know that it's going to burn your hand. There's no incentive there.
I didn't even think...
It's not like the marshmallow test.
I didn't think Aisha was saying lack of willpower.
We have to move on.
It's a defiance.
They head to a more or less empty nightclub, and it reminded me of going to Corey Feldman's show. There was a good amount of space to where you could still like move around because there was like not that many people there.
Basically a perfect gathering is what you're saying.
And after seeing that Ryan has a giant plastic gold chain on, I at least learned a little bit about Culver, excuse me. Now, Brittany is blacked out and trying to get kisses when we learn about the Bradbury compound. So, Culver is very wealthy?
They kind of hinted at that, and she might be so lucky that he'll bring her there someday.
There's two things going on. Either he's like a Maryland gypsy and like they know where the good land is and they have a lot of land, or he really does live in a compound.
I'm glad you're confused by this because I didn't understand where the fuck he was going with it.
The picture they flashed up looked like a Get Out kind of family. So I'm assuming that he's got a good amount of money.
Well, I felt Yellowstone because it looked like a lot of wilderness behind them.
Totally.
I was not... Now that you're saying it, I guess he's saying it in a weird way, but I wasn't weirded out by this at all because I know people from Wisconsin who are rich for the area. They have a ton of land, and everybody goes there and parties. And I feel like this was just he's got a lot of land, horses, and a family, and they jokingly call their place that they go and have shenanigans. And she goes and plays cards all night with his family, and she wants to marry him. That's all I took it as.
Yeah. But it still begs the question: Is this guy really, really rich?
Why is he
Probably
here?
not. Occam's razor would say no. So
I have not heard him brought up on Real Housewives of Potomac once.
So Magda is yelling about her boyfriend, and the worst part about this is that with the OTFs about her work and her mindset, I can realize that this is going to keep being a thing for the rest of the episode. Like this is now a storyline because we just keep hitting it, so we're going to get more of it. So we get back to the boat, and there is no ball of snakes, but rather Jamie shitting on the women, Magda texting her boyfriend, and Benny wondering how he's going to protect Brittany from Jamie. My God.
I get why you hate the episode when we've been talking about it now.
I don't. We're so early on, and a lot has happened.
She talks to Culver. Can we move on?
Yeah.
We wake up.
Next
You
morning.
don't think there's a ton to mine from the bitch shit? He's being called a bitch. They keep joking about, I love these shenanigans on the boat, and him being, no, nothing.
No, because there has to be some redeemable quality, and at this point, I am completely out on 4 of the people on this boat. I couldn't care less what happens to them. Don't want to see them. And I'm sorry. I told you guys this was a tough episode for me to watch. I genuinely had to stop because I was so mentally
Well, we're going to get to
taxed.
the food, though, with the English tea. And
we wake up, and I was
a preference sheet meeting.
I was joking about Aisha needing some. Why does this happen on? Let's get to the preference sheet meeting.
We got to do our announcement, Dylan. It's time for...
No. Oh, my God. We can't get to the preference sheet meeting. We wake up, and I was joking about Magda needing some kind of severe mental correction. But now I am back aboard this. I am at a complete loss. She wakes up in the morning. She cannot find her phone, and she begins to weep. Thoughts?
She sounds
Are you kidding me?
She sounds like the type of weak person who would demand $175 as reimbursement 5 minutes after they purchased it. She's weak. It's a toxic relationship. I don't know what we're looking for.
I thought she was walking around that goddamn boat. Like, if you ever see the zombies walk around here, they're very nervously checking, like they drop some crack on the sidewalk. You know what I mean? And they get very upset. And she was scouring around that boat. One thing that you missed, Dylan, is the night before she went to bed, she was fighting with her boyfriend on that phone.
Yeah, she's had the phone in the bed.
Yeah.
She's so drunk, then she wakes up, and she's so broken mentally.
It's not like she left it at Magnum.
The scrolling on the Instagram and the texting all the time. She's completely embedded in the metaverse already, and she's a fucking dumb piece of shit. And she starts weeping because she can't find her phone. Who wants to see this human being on television?
I think it was.
I can't believe it.
I think it was an incredible PSA for the digitalia, the addiction we feel to our devices, the freak out that literally unable.
Who's the guy that created the Apple phone that we?
Steve Jobs.
We like to look at him as there was like 3 movies made 6 months after he rolled sevens. We may have a different look at him later as he ruined all of our lives.
Yep. Ushered in the singularity.
But also,
Vice
how
just did an
smart
article
to sell
about
your
how
life
we,
story to multiple people.
We learn
Ashton Kutcher played him.
Generation to generation from one another. That's how we build our historical context and our social
That's
mores.
right. That's right.
And now artificial intelligence will start sculpting that for us, and we'll be informed of what to think by racist robots who have scanned all of the faces of pretty much only white European people. And I mean, God knows where we're going. But if people find this entertaining, this show entertaining, not this show, and I know this is a bummer show, but Below Deck, I mean, we're just going off a fucking cliff. I told you guys I was going to be in a bad mood tonight.
Right.
Let's get to the preference sheet meeting.
It seems like it's gotten worse just recently. Are you upset?
He's okay.
I hated this episode.
All right. Well, I'll tell you.
Honestly, you know what? Should I leave?
No.
Should I leave and let you guys cover the
Dylan,
show?
we're going to step up right now because this is when the episode gets good.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Because I feel like I've been on a negative island.
Well, I didn't want to step on your toes.
Charlene Crooks, one-night charter, Sydney, New South Wales. As a globe-trotting recruitment expert with an eye for opulence, British import Charlene Crooks does not hold back when it comes to throwing her perfect vacation for her and her friends. Having lived down under for years now, Charlene is planning the ultimate Brits Gone Wild charter, save Joe Francis. Recreating a true English holiday to celebrate the birthday of 3 of her mates. Those birthday honorees include single lads Matt and Tim, both Essex party boys with a work hard, play hard attitude, as everyone who's ever bought a charter yacht vacation has. And Laura, a buyer for designer fashion brands who expects the charter's events to live up to her 5-star lifestyle. Also joining the group are Nick and Eleni, Eleni, a couple who work in drilling and medical sales, respectively, not both together. And Charlene's partner, Jack, a tradesman, some twink who's leeching off her money and probably has a 6-pack.
I think that's the one who said the food was disgusting.
And Laura's partner, Luke, who owns a painting and decorating business, another twink. These UK expats are expecting the yacht crew to bring the Ibiza club scene to the Whitsunday waters. Think diving, snorkeling, water sports, bikinis, pool party, where extravagant meals and desserts and all the inflatable toys they can get their hands on in 22 hours. Of high priority for the charter guests is a guided scuba dive excursion, both for experienced and first-time divers. Dylan, it looks like you're pulling up your notes, getting ready to talk. We got some more to go. Upon boarding the super yacht, guests request
I know. I was texting my wife. I want a Mexican pizza.
Did you?
Yeah.
I just had one 3 days ago.
Was it
I told
good?
you that. I went through the drive-thru. I got 2 of them.
Were they good?
Yeah. Sorry, Nick.
No, you guys know how I love news and fast food.
They're back.
What Taco Bell has done with the pizza, everybody's talking about it. I went there 2 days early. They were like, it comes out in 3 days. We were duped.
I spoke to a marketing executive on the golf course months before that came out, and we were talking, because she was with her boyfriend. And I said, we got to talking about what we did. And she said that she worked in advertising. We said, what kind of advertising? She said, fast food. And we said, you don't work at Taco Bell, do you? Because they do such a good job advertising. And she teased that a product was coming back. And she might as well have just said it, because
Mexican
me and my
pizza.
friend Dusty immediately said Mexican
We're
pizza.
thinking you're taking the chalupa back, you
And
bitch.
she looked at us, winked, and got back into her cart. So, I mean, I've been rock solid for this thing for a while.
It tastes even better than it did before.
So excited.
Sorry, Nick.
No, good for them. It's awesome that they continue to innovate, being such stalwarts in the fast food game, which I have such a passion for. Upon boarding the super yacht, guests request a beautiful charcuterie board and a platter to include lamb and chicken skewers for the boys. Night 1, they want a Mexican fiesta with a chocolate fountain for dessert and a high tea brunch. Now, this is where it gets interesting. High tea is not the same as tea. This is an article from FN Foods, the Food Network blog. This is by Amy Ryder. We Americans are notorious.
I just want to say really quickly for the audience, you've got to watch the video and you've got to watch closely, because when Nick is doing a bit where he does Andy Kaufman and he goes very, very long for comedic effect, Pat will do this thing with his eyebrows. Now, Pat's gotten a lot of Botox done, so it's a funny thing to witness where Pat hikes his eyebrows as high as he can on his forehead in complete disbelief and also fear.
We Americans are notoriously clueless about the finer points of English tea. Just ask British royal biographer Hugo Vicker, who once struggled to school Stephen Colbert in proper tea drinking requirements and etiquette to memorably hilarious effect. Trusting perhaps that the rest of us are slightly better students than the hysterically hapless Mr. Colbert, NPR's The Salt blog tells us how to tell our tea from our afternoon tea from our 11s as we when
are you going to give up? When are you going to get off the horse and just let it keep running, and we'll pick you up and then we'll talk about the rest of the show.
It's a lot of reading. It was too much. It was too ambitious. We usually do.
I brought an American Airlines email that was 3,500 words long. What?
I would just say we usually do below deck under first. That being said, there are 3 different types of tea. 11s is afternoon tea. And then finally high tea, which is usually served from 5 to 7 p.m. And they're having high tea brunch. So there's a couple times I find myself siding with Ryan on this episode, and this was one of them. I would be disgusted to be asked to serve high tea at noon as well.
Nick, one question.
That concludes the preference.
Hold on. I have a question about it.
High tea should never be served on these boats.
I didn't hear spicy tacos on that thing.
What, there was a
high tea should never be served aboard any of these vessels. It requires such a standard of professionalism and ornateness that you cannot achieve it on a piece of shit floating in the ocean like this.
Now, hey, remember when I brought up at the top of the show, Jaws, floating around there eating people's children?
Sure, yeah.
The version of eating children for Ryan was not giving a fuck about any of the food. So when he gets eaten, he deserved it.
Yeah, no, Ryan says...
Oh, when he gets shot, I'm sorry.
Ryan says Brits have a lack of class, and then says, let's do Uber Eats for the Mexican dinner. Because he's about to be fired, and then the captain's like, what? And he's like, just kidding.
For those of you that are disappointed that I got cut off, and I think it's fair, just upgrade to the $10 tier, and I will read the entire Amy Ryder blog about high tea.
When?
Tomorrow. I'm going to just record it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's going to be its own solo thing on the $10 tier. Upgrade if you want to hear me read Amy Ryder's blog. I'll add some of my own jokes.
But more important matters to get to. Let's talk. That was the next line in my notes.
Oh, no.
I wasn't. I do mean that, though. Let's talk about Jamie. He goes up to his boss and earnestly tells said boss that the girls are calling the boys names. I mean, can you imagine being a grown man and telling another grown man that this is going on? Hey, Cap, I got to talk to you. The girls are calling us names. He tells Aisha Our Captain Jason
Kermit
tells Aisha, and he tells Bertini. And despite Captain's best efforts to not take gender norms into account, herein lies the realness of gender norms. Jamie looks like a fucking weak piece of shit because of this.
Well, I felt bad. He's a piece of shit, but you know who I felt bad for is hot Captain Jason.
Yeah.
Because he's got to become a first grade teacher. Skylar, did you use a bad word?
Yeah.
Because bad words hurt people. And he's talking to Bertini.
Yeah.
And she's like, Bertini's like confused. She's like, are you coming to me because I called Jamie a bitch? Well, words sometimes have meaning,
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if it does have to do with gender norms. They were teasing Jamie, and he's been acting like a bitch from the moment. Let me finish this really quickly. He's been acting like a bitch from the moment the first person called him that. There are plenty of women, Aisha included, who have a stronger temperament than this big life-saving mall cop. Okay.
We're on the same page. We're
Yeah.
making the same point. It's interesting that calling someone a bitch, a male, is the first workplace infraction that needs to be handled. We've seen unwanted sexual advancements, or we've seen people just insane things.
Aisha's been through way worse.
They are jokingly calling you a bitch. And this is the thing that gets filed a complaint and needs to be addressed on a fucking
telling
boat.
you.
Give me a break.
I hate the people on this show. So Aisha's reaction to the scolding is perfect. She just starts laughing. Because it's hilarious. Her boss just came in and said a grown man's been complaining that you called him a bitch, and she just starts laughing hysterically. And Bertini just breaks down. I turned into the Joker at this point. I was just laughing, and so does she. So let's get to the guests coming aboard.
The reason she broke down so much is because the aforementioned anxiety that is brought upon by heavily drinking
Yes.
and
No,
the
that's true.
hangover.
You brought that up to me. I learned a lot from you on that episode.
So because we could talk about how terrible Magda is, but I don't really want to. So Charlene and her drunk buddies hit the boat. They're Brits, and they've got one token American. Should we cover the intellectual property theft? They did our... They listened to
Quick
the episode.
turnaround by the thieves.
Yeah. So 8 lychee martinis are ordered, and 1 is spilled. The cheese board is not touched, and because of that, Craig, the bad guy from the Langoliers, begins one of his trademark hissy fits about how he is the king of cuisine and reason. So for that reason, he's going to be chucking up some avocados and tacos for dinner. Get ready, high-paying guests. At some point, Magda talks about her boyfriend again and this bitch, Paulina. Now, I mentioned I'm confused whether or not she did anything or
Or is real.
Or is real. Yeah. I mean, I'm just not sure what's going on here.
I guess it would be an insult to Magda's mental illness to say she's not real. Magda's definitely hearing this. She's definitely existing. But is she...
cheating.
Or a being.
Right.
A real person and not a figment of the imagination.
You moved my wine, and I'm trying to get intoxicated and overwhelm our audience with my toxic negativity. So if you could thank you very much. And I want to apologize to all the listeners. I know that this isn't fantastic, but I'm just trying to live I'm trying to live my truth.
You should.
But we can talk. I mean, there's some part that was a thought I had about
there's
it.
Some
You had
okay.
some
There's some okay parts. So the guests put in an order for some daiquiris, and Magda can not only not make the drinks, she cannot find the strawberries for the drinks.
Where would they be?
I don't know. Better question though: how long have you been on this boat? Holy shit. She keeps talking about guys and men, and I just can't do it anymore.
I think we have a better shot of getting Magda on the show than Pizza Rat, by the way.
I don't want to speak to Magda.
Okay.
So Britt asks if she can speak to her.
You don't think that would be a good time? We could make a bit about it. Talking to Magda?
But there won't be anything given back. It'll be like 2 ships passing another in the night, then turning around and doing it again, and then
we have to look at them as quicker hits that will bump up the numbers. Talk for 7 minutes and
maybe.
move on.
All right, so let's get to dinner. We've got an issue with the chocolate fountain in that there is no way to pull this off and not have it look like fucking trash. Brian says that when they request great food, they get great food. Well, that's a fallacy, right? Because all yous can do is drink beer and flip pizza dough and talk about your fucking dead dad. You can't
He
cook
did die
good
on
food.
9/11.
2009. He's never cooked great food once on this fucking show. If they ask for great food, I'll make it. No, you are not capable of that. So, Captain Jason finally has the munitions required to fire these problem kids. But we'll see if he actually does. Let's sit down for dinner. First up, sliced avocado and sliced tomato on a plate. Second course, 3 different tacos. The one with the carne asada is so hot it's inedible, and the guests seem to think overall that it's just a fucking dog shit meal. Now, when Ryan is told this, he says that the Brits like bland flavors.
He adds they can fuck off, too.
Well, he says they can fuck off and that Brits love bland flavors. But that doesn't make any sense because they identified your food as bland as a negative. So you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. After 45 minutes, they finally get to the realization that they can't plug the chocolate fountain in. I mean, how many sea rats does it take?
Okay, this is one point I was super passionate about this episode.
Yeah.
I think it was not on Ryan
It was on everybody.
to have the technicalities of how to work the fountain.
I completely agree with you.
He's not a grip. He's making the food. The fact that Aisha was like, yeah, I don't know how to fucking do that. She was waiting for him to walk the plank and setting him up to fail.
I think so too.
That's a good
But
point.
The only time I will defend Ryan, but it's not his job to figure out where to put and plug in the chocolate fountain.
I completely agree with you, and I completely agree with you about Aisha's motivation. I think she was like, fuck this guy, I'm not helping him deservedly so. But yes, this is between Aisha and Jamie getting this sorted out. It has nothing to do with Ryan.
If you told Jamie, if Aisha would have told Jamie earlier that he did an extension cord for a chocolate fountain, he would have been extremely excited to do that and have it properly insulated so it would not electrocute anyone aboard the boat.
Yeah, go ahead.
He loves
Pat.
safety. That was a real point.
One thing,
No, I know.
One thing that's a good part of my nature or my character, good and bad, is I want to give people more credit than they probably deserve, but I also don't want to get negative on them. Dylan, you picked out Pizza Rat. When he made this, the chocolate whatever fountain, he was angry, he said, because that's the dessert that they wanted. And I was thinking for the first time, you bastard, why not show off what you can do? Give them the chocolate fountain that you don't want to do, but also blow their minds with your confectionery genius. But the very fact that it was just the chocolate, whatever the fuck, with some fucking marshmallows.
Not only does he not show them anything extra, the plate that he displays looks like a 50s housewife on Ritalin put it together.
No,
I
it
mean,
looks
there are
like
banana leaves on the bottom or whatever kind of greenery he used. It was the tackiest piece of shit display of confections I've ever seen. I can't. Nobody can listen to this, but I'm too negative.
To me, it looks like Grandma went to work at Franciscan Skemp to go clean for 8 hours, and Nick was home alone, and he got in the cupboard, and I started throwing stuff on a plate and threw it in the microwave. And the other part, I was really, really passionate about.
But no one at your house was paying $60,000.
I certainly was not paying $60,000 a day. I think our house was $60,000. She owns it though outright.
Good for her.
Good for her.
And that was back in the day. It's probably like $200,000 now. But the other point I was really passionate about
You forgot it.
was that no. I can see where you might have thought that.
Well, of course.
We really hated Adam. He was a huge dick.
Yes.
But he was a dick because he did take pride in his work.
Right.
Even though it may be campfire food that vagrants
Yeah.
out of a van
Avocado
can
toast.
cook. But he took pride in it.
Yes.
I fell asleep on my couch watching this, and I woke up to autoplayed season 1 of Below Deck Sailing, and Adam was there. And it was the first episode, and he was very angry that they did not serve steak knives to these people during white glove service.
Right.
And he was upset about it being shitty for the guests.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a huge piece of shit, but way different than Ryan,
Different kind of piece of shit.
who's a piece of shit because
Ryan's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Nice. That was
I think we're all on the same page.
yeah. But that was my huge point.
What page
We
is
hated
that?
Adam for different
Two
reasons.
douchebags.
Pack at me meanwhile.
Meanwhile,
The guests are fucked up. Ryan says he's busy. Magda texts with her friend Paulina, who doesn't exist. And then Culver and Britt talk about being homeless. So Toomey is right that it's not a great sign that the young Brits, who have a lot of money, are going to bed at around 10:45. It would seem that the fish made them want to shit their pants and sleep. So let's get to more Magda. She is up talking to her boyfriend. Let's stop talking about that next morning. Aisha says, hey there, Magda. Can you do me a favor and not be 4 minutes late to work? And Magda's response is, I was only 2 minutes late to work.
Fair point.
So, what? So Jason
pissing you.
decides, because this charter is such shit, he's going to get his fine ass in that tender and save this trip. Cue a minute of snorkel footage, the best part of the episode. So back to the boat, and Ryan is punching holes out of wheat bread for the high tea. This is when Jason walks in and says, hey, what have you got? And Ryan holds up a cheese sandwich, the kind his father used to make him after he burned his arm with a cigarette. And I mean, I'm exhausted. I am exhausted.
I love how the episode production took the time to insert actual pictures of Instagram photos of a high tea.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see what it looked like.
It's beautiful, and it's not that good.
And it's served from 5 to 7 p.m.
So, Brian says, I really don't fucking care about high tea.
He says, yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Well, but here's the thing,
I wonder what he
fuckface.
thinks about high C.
They specifically, he probably loves high C. So we get another text from Magda's boyfriend, and let's serve the food. I need to get to the next episode. I need to see these people fired, and I need to get into a fight.
Well,
with,
Magda got fired. That was fun.
That's a good point. So the guests depart. They flame. This was written at a time when I didn't know Magda was getting fired. The tea goes horribly wrong. The guests depart and flame Ryan as they are leaving the boat, and then we get to the tip.
Which is shocking. Now, this is the shortest charter we've ever had. This was 22 hours, right? Fucking $16,000 American money for one. That must have been what they paid.
It is ratio-wise, I don't know the
It's
correct
way out of whack.
terminology. It's the best tip we've ever seen.
For one day, yes.
I had my TFC on, honestly, this whole charter. The fact that anybody would ever come on one of these things for one day.
Yeah.
Ask for the things they asked for. I don't know. My antennas were perked, but I don't want to break the fourth wall.
He served them spicy tacos.
Over 3 days, this would be, or over 2 days, it would be a $30,000 tip.
I think they all agreed. Both of you are gone. We're going to bring on our friends of the show. We'll have a shitty charter for one day, and then we'll piece you out.
That might be good. I actually love that theory.
There was one comment by a guest during dinner with the spicy tacos where they're like, how much
I
are
don't
we
think
paying for this bullshit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oof.
But they tip well. They're good people despite how poor the service is. You tip well. That's just what you're supposed to
And
do.
never do it again.
And never go back again.
If I ever hear that Essex Party Boys are coming on the boat and they go to bed at 10:45 again, I'm quitting this show, fellas.
So, Magda is called up first, and the guillotine is dropped. Thank fucking God.
She is shocked by this news. But the funnest part was Captain Hot Stuff. He puts a positive spin on this with Magda. I guess it would be the final line of the podcast. He says, all right, the bad news is you're out. The good news is now you can fight with your boyfriend in person.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. So I want to apologize to everybody. I know that this was probably tough to listen to, me just leading us through this episode with...
Was it a bit you planned? really angered you this much?
No, it really did. I was in a.
You gotta talk to
been
someone.
there.
You're right.
I was in an awful place watching the show.
Been there,
because,
brother.
Dude, Magda, like, I don't want it to get into misogyny or anything, and I don't hate her because she's a dumb blonde or anything like that. It's just when you're constantly shown someone who you have less than zero interest in, it gets taxing. It's really, really taxing. So, anyways, sorry that I was such
We'll
a
be
Debbie
better.
Downer
We'll be
tonight.
better next episode.
We'll be better next episode.
Yep.
We love you guys for supporting us. Sincere, heartfelt apology. Ryan's getting fired next episode. How could that not be an incredible episode of Another Below Deck podcast?
I'm saying,
And then we get some beef cheeks.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see you next week. Love you. Sorry, I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat, say goodbye.
later.